Right, well that's the first video sorted. You know who I am and what I'm doing. So, at the minute, piston ring gap in. Not the best job in the world, but it has to be done. So, obviously we've got a block. There is the block. Yeah, so we've got the first one all built up. That's all back in the bag over there on my trolley. That's all bagged up just because then I know it's done and it's complete and it's finished. So, obviously on the back end, this is the odd numbered bank. So we've got 1, 3 and 5, 2, 4 and 6 on this block, which I've also numbered because otherwise I'll forget it. So yeah, basically how I've been doing it is got our piston rings. The oil control rings were already pre-gapped to what I wanted them to be. So that's fine. So I've managed to get all them on. So we're on to the next one, which is the middle ring. So obviously on the pistons, you've got your oil control ring, your center ring, and then your top ring. So your center ring is number 2, top ring is number 1. So this one is thicker than this one. This middle ring as well, if you look, says up on there. Can you zoom in on that one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that means that obviously that one faces up to the head. So this one, I don't know if the camera will get it, but you can see it is slightly different than just your normal piston one. It's got a bit of an edge to it as well. Why that is, not too sure. So this is my first time building an engine. So if you do, leave a comment, let me know why that is, because I haven't got a clue. So yeah, basically, like I said earlier, cool little tool. And basically we're just inserting that into the block. And then we use our little tool, squaring that off. And then you've got down in there, then you can just see there's a little gap. That's your piston ring gap. So therefore, you get your feeler gauge. And then we're gapping these to 23 thou. That's what Nick said to do at Griffin Motors. So basically you're just checking the gap. So that is nowhere near. So we'll try 18 thou. And that fits in. And yeah, that's too big. So we'll go up to 19 thou. And this is 19 thousandths of an inch. So that's quite small. And yeah, 19's still a little bit too small. So we'll go up to 20. Just checking it. Yeah, perfect. So with that being said, we need to gap that 3 thousandths of an inch, which is nothing. You look at that on the feeler gauge, and you've got, there you go, that's 3 thou. Probably a Rizzler paper. That is it. That's, yeah, this is a bit old, so that's why it's a bit crappy. But it does the job, so, you know. So yeah, basically, we're then removing the piston ring, and then we're using a little manual piston ring grinder. With these, I've done a lot of searched a lot of videos on these. You only grind one side, because the problem is, if you grind on both sides, you put that in the grinder, squeeze them together, you've then lost how you're meant to square them up. So I know some people say do both sides, but then if obviously they've got to be like that. So if you then do it like that or like that, it's just going to absolutely wreck the ring. So I preferably just do one, just so that when I'm doing it, I can just check the gap and then check that it's squared up. And then if it's squared up, perfect. Obviously you go up to your 23 thou. Some people go, oh, that's massive. But yes, it is. But one, I got Nick to work out and calculate it all up for me. Because we're boosting it and we're going at a high level, the stock one, the top ring's 14 thou, and the center one, I believe, is 17 thou. But that's on a stock engine. Like, that's just your standard turbo unit. Whereas with this one, we're going to be running a hybrid turbo, then going to be asking it to, like, you know, produce more pressure, and then obviously the engine's going to get hotter. So Nick's done all the calculations for me, so shout out to Nick, thank you very much. He's been absolutely fantastic. Anyone need anything engine wise related, mental builds or anything like that, he's like well up for that. He's just, like I say, with the new spicy engine for the black one, which, no, I'm not going to tell you about it just yet, but yeah, it's some of you know, but not all of you, but we'll do a video of that later. But yeah, so make sure like and subscribe, keep up to date with all the videos, and then you'll find out. And then also as well, I will just add, I haven't just got the Vectra VXRs that's got a 6-cylinder in it, and that's the mystery car, but that will be revealed at a later date, and that's 2026 build. She's tucked away at the minute. Not many people know about it. Some of you do, but hopefully you'll keep your gob shut. But yes, like I say, I am in my kitchen. Yes, I'm doing it in the kitchen, and you can see I've got more of my toolbox in here because we're still waiting for the shed. And does my wife love me? Yes. How do I know that? Because she's recording this video right now. So, but yeah, so both of us a bit nerve-wracking doing videos because obviously we've never done it before. So, you know, we're winging it. We're winging it. But yeah, so as you can see, this is a kitchen / workshop. So yeah, she just loves it, you see. You know, she loves doing the dishes, staring at a nice set of heads that have just been all done. So little bits that need to be finished off, just the face of the exhaust gasket side just wants cleaning up a little bit more. Just ready to install the manifolds, which we will be getting from Scanifab. Thank you to Kieran for them. So we'll probably go and get them probably towards the end of the week, and then we'll do a little video on Kieran and what he does. He's done the spicy turbo build and the kit for my other engine as well, which I could show you, but I'm not going to. So yeah, basically what we're going to be doing, I've done piston 1, I'd already done that. We're moving on to piston 3, getting that one ready for the piston compressor sleeve tomorrow, so that once I've got that, we can get these dropped in, get them torqued to spec, run it, obviously running it through, make sure that it can obviously crank over and there's no like resistance or anything like that. You need a nice, smooth, clean, like just turnover, I suppose is the only way you can see it. But the good thing is with Nick, the best, obviously, as I say, I mean, to be fair, like with all this being new to me, with Nick, I was actually there when he deglazed the bores. So he's done like a little light hone on it, but it was more just to get rid of like where it'd been hot washed. He then got what he called the expensive toilet brush. And that basically just takes like what he called was hills and valleys. So basically what he means by that is when you're honing it, obviously you're creating like gaps in the cylinder wall. Then what this expensive toilet brush does, it takes away the hills, so it just leaves the valleys. So, and then obviously once you've got your piston rings installed on the piston, that will then just make sure that everything's all level on the bores, on the cylinder walls, and then hopefully we'll have no blow-by. So we'll get this done, and we'll get that one installed, and then move on to piston 5. But yeah, this absolutely banging bit of tool, £6 I think it was on eBay. And just, yeah, fantastic bit of kit. Some people say like, oh, just turn your piston upside down. Yeah, you can do that, I get that, but I don't know, just at least the thing is with a bit of plastic, you're not, I don't know, just, yeah, the thing is, if you get it in at an angle and all that as well, just, I know you could probably do it, but again, safety and that, all that sort of thing with it comes to building engines, because I don't want to blow another one up. Yeah, it wasn't the best of phone calls ringing the wife and telling her that I'd killed her car. Well, it wasn't my own, wasn't my fault, because technically I didn't mean to do it. I blame Christian. And Christian, if you're watching this, yes, I blame you. You're the one that wanted to go out in it, man. So he's already messaged me saying, oh, look who's on my TV. Yeah, man, that was a top wanker. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so basically piston gudgeon pin. We've got the clip that then holds that piston in, piston gudgeon ring pin. Let me try that again. The piston gudgeon pin in, so it stops it from hitting the cylinder walls, because then you're going to really asking for trouble for that. So that's for that. And then we've got BSR rod. We've got the King Racing bearings, and we've got, most importantly, the assembly lube. So we'll obviously get all that all into there and get that into the block. So yeah, we're gonna crack on and we'll get some piston rings gapped and get it fitted in. So right, pause it. Right, so gapping rings, the most painful part, because if you get it wrong, you're gonna have problems. So basically, we've measured this. Currently in the cylinder block, it is at 20 thou. And the other thing that I was always taught is gap the rings to the cylinder bores. So if you've gapped this to cylinder 5, don't then try and put it in cylinder 3. Because the thing is, obviously, as people know, all the bores aren't always exactly the same thing. So I could measure that at 20 thou and then put it measure that in cylinder 3 at 20 thou, I could put that in cylinder 5 and it could be 21 thou, or it could be 19 thou. So don't use rings that you've gapped to a cylinder wall on any other cylinder bores. So basically what we're doing here, we've got our piston ring gapping tool, and all we're going to do is we are just checking, yeah, we are correct. So just gently, and all we're doing is just, it sounds horrible, but just slowly and gently grinding that down. So then I don't know whether, we're not quite squared off, don't know whether you can get that in there and zoom that in. That's not quite squared off on the piston ring, but when we close it together, it's squared. So yeah, we've just got to take that edge off. So it's just a case of then putting that in there, squaring it off, getting your feeler gauge, and then finding the right one. Where are we at? So we got 19 thou in there last time, from memory served. Yeah, so 19, and we just got a slight bit of tolerance. So we'll go and step that up to 20 thou. Where are we? There we go, 20 thou. He says that's 21. No, I've lost 20. No, we haven't. There it is. So yeah, she's got a bit of a wobble on, so we'll step that up to 21. Yeah, so she's got a nice bit of resistance on there. You don't want it you just want it just sort of to slightly grip it. You don't want it like really tight. You just want it so it sits in there and fits nicely. But yeah, so we'll get this one squared up and we'll keep going. Yeah, so now we've got a nice squared edge. So that'll be, yeah. So we're still nice and tight at 21. So it still needs a little bit more, but we'll persevere. And then the thing is as well is, little engineering file. Another little tip from Kieran at Scanifab. He's just said, obviously, once you've got your rings gapped, filed, just take a little file and just gently file off any little burrs that you might have just around the edges from when using the piston ring file. Just eliminates then it's scoring any bores, any loose metal. Just clean it all off and that, otherwise you don't want it in the piston cylinder wall. Otherwise you're really asking for trouble there. So I'm going to get these gapped to 23 thou and we're going to get these installed. Right, so we've got this gap to 23 thou now. Just finalising, just getting all the burrs off and whatnot. And I'd say it's good to go. So I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but you should just see you've got that whole face of that inner piston ring is now all filed, and then you go like that and that should be squared up to the other one that we haven't filed. I personally wouldn't file this side just so that you can square and check it, because yeah, you don't want an off piston ring. So right, we've got that done now, so we're going to get that one onto the piston. And that's it. That is now all on the piston. So once we've got that one built up, we'll then move on to the top ring. This one hasn't really been sided, so you can probably install it in any way you want. This one has got a little N on the top, or it could be a Z, whatever way you're looking at it. I'll use that as a reference point and use that as the top. So we'll get that in the cylinder. Get our little tool, square that bad boy off, and I would say these are probably going to be quite low. So I'm way off because we're going to be gapping these at 19 thou. Again, that's what Nick's recommended to me at Griffin Engines, so that is what we'll go to. So yeah, so I can't even get 10 thou in there. We'll try, I'll go the wrong way. We'll try 8. Yeah, so I can get 8 in there, that's fine. So we'll try for 9. Yeah, we're a little bit loose on 9, but not quite 10. Oh, okay, sorry, I got 10 in there. Yeah, so we're on 10 thousandths of an inch. So that's now got to go up to 19. So that's 9 thousandths of an inch bigger than what's currently in there. So yeah, we'll get back on the grinder and we'll start cutting this one. So it's all about just keeping it squared off as much as you can and holding it down. Obviously, there's quite a lot to file off in terms of like thousandths of an inch. So yeah, obviously it's going to take a while, but it's just a case of, I generally do probably a maximum of like 4 turns and check the gap. But yeah, obviously for that we're quite way off, so we could probably do 5 or 6, but I'll always still check it, just because obviously once you've gone over you can't add it back on, so then you're screwed and then you'd need another set of piston rings. So it sounds horrible. So yeah, we've got so we've got a nice squared edge on there. We'll just get that back on our cylinder wall and we'll just double check. So yeah, 10 is now a little bit too big, small. So we're gonna go in for, what should we do? These are all gone in there. Try again. We'll try 14 maybe. Yeah, Yeah, so that's a little bit too big for it to get in the gap, so we'll try 12. Yeah, it's gone in there, but it is quite tight. So it's probably about right, the same sort of resistance what we want when we get to the 19 thou. So yeah, obviously we still need a bit more off that, so we'll get that done. Yeah, again, nice squared edge. Get that checked up. There's 12 thou again. Yeah, so that's now starting to get a little bit bigger. So you can get just a little bit of a wobble on the gap. So we'll try for 13 and see what we can do with that. See if we can get that in there. Yeah, so we can get that in there if we give it a bit of a... Obviously you don't want to force it in, like... Yeah, just want a nice sort of smooth drop into it. Otherwise it's not the right gap. Yeah, so we'll get that gap in there again. I'll just check that. Back in there with a 13. Yeah, and that goes in there a damn sight easier. So we'll go up to the next one. We're up to 14 thou. Yeah, we can just get that one in there. A bit of a resistance, but still needs a little bit more off. Right, so we've got the top ring all ground down, and we're now just going to check it with our feeler gauge. So all we're looking for is just the tiniest bit of resistance. Done. So that's that done. So we can go ahead getting this installed on the piston as well. One thing that guy on one of our Facebook pages, John Roberts, so thanks to him. I knew this anyway, but it's always nice to have a bit of input off anybody that's done this before as well. Like I say, I've not done this before, so for me all this is new. So I'm just going to get rid of the burrs. But yeah, basically with the gap, don't have them in line with each other, because otherwise you can then create something called blow-by, which basically will then increase the crankcase pressure, and that's not good news. So I always like to do mine opposite ends. So the gap for the middle rings there, I'll go ahead and I'll put it on this side. So once we've got that, just take that little off a bit more. Perfect. So that's all done, and then all I'm going to do is install that on that ring, on that piston, sorry, and she's in. That's it. That's one done, ready for the middle cylinder. So basically I'll get this all assembled now, and that's one done, ready to go in the block. So hopefully, fingers crossed, like I say, the shed's coming next week. Next weekend, a friend of mine's coming up, he's going to help me get that sorted. We'll then look at getting Stacey's one, or should I say the wife, it's just Stacey. We're going to look at probably trying to make a start on hers. Christian's quite optimistic. He's like, oh yeah, we'll have that in by the end of the weekend. But yeah, that's probably been a bit too optimistic. I mean, I'm quite good at taking them apart. I've been breaking them for quite a while, but yeah, don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so we'll have a go. We'll see if we can get it. I'd like to get it out and inspect what's gone wrong. because that's what I'm confused about. Because on these, if you look on here, they're a mechanical driven, well, they're driven by the crank. And I'll show you, I'll do a video and show you what they're like inside. I can't imagine, I can't really, I don't understand what's gone wrong. There's nothing really in there that can go wrong. It's all mechanical geared. So we're a bit confused as to what's really gone wrong. So at least even if we can get that one stripped down and find out and investigate exactly what's gone wrong, just to see like what's happened, then that'll be ideal. Or we might just leave it for time being. If this one's built or anywhere close to being built, get it finished off, and then literally get hers dropped out of the engine bay, and then get all the clutch and gearbox and that transshipped across from that onto this one, get it in the car, and then do the most nerve-wracking part, and then obviously the first start up, because that is not what I'm looking forward to. We'll be getting somebody else to do that bit, because if it starts knocking, tapping, or making any noises that we don't want to hear, I will probably set them on fire. Every single one. They are the bane of my life. Most of you probably know that if you've come across from Facebook onto the channel, you know that I've had an absolute nightmare with these cars. They've been an absolute just bane of my life. But I'm still here. I'm still messing around with them. Why? Who knows? I'm probably just a bit tapped in the head. Probably have a look at getting a video done tomorrow of the cars, so you can have a look at what they are, the specs, what's on them, what's in them. Because with my one, some of you might know that the Spoon's vehicle, the VXR, sorry, it's got a special interior in it, one-off, custom. No one else has got it. It's all been done by him. It's absolutely lovely. It's really nice, and as much as it done my head in, and I wanted to take a hammer to it a few months ago, just couldn't bring myself to do it, and it's going to be something special when she's done anyway. But again, stay tuned for that, and drop us a follow, like and subscribe, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow, and I'll show you the cars. Thank you very much.